Hello friends, in this tutorial I will explain you how to design and detail simply supported one-way slabs. So basically the slabs are the plate elements having the depth much smaller than its span and width. And like beams, the slabs may also be simply supported, cantilever or continuous. So based on the system of supports, the slabs are classified as one-way spanning slabs, two-way spanning slabs, flat slabs, grid slabs, circular and other shapes, and the ribbed and the waffle slabs. But the two most commonly used slabs are the one-way slabs and the two-way slabs. In the case of one-way slabs, we have the supports on two opposite edges, while in the case of two-way slabs, we have supports in all the four directions. The another way of differentiating these two slabs is based on the aspect ratio, which is the ratio of longer span Ly to the shorter span Lx. So if this ratio is more than or equal to 2, then it is a one-way slab. If it is less than 2, then it is a two-way slab. Now coming to the detailing part, in order to resist the positive bending moment in the slab, we will provide the reinforcement in the tension zone at the center. Now this reinforcement, which is called as the main steel, is to be extended into the support to take care of the development length and to provide proper anchorage to the supports. So we will extend this main steel into the supports. Now as these slabs are simply supported, so there is no negative moment at the supports, but there may be chances of developing a negative bending moment due to partial fixity and monolithic construction. So in order to take care of this negative moment, we will provide alternate bent up bars at a distance of L by 10 from the face of the support. So we will provide the bent up bars like this. So if we have two bars, let's say bar A and bar B, then we will provide bar A bending into the support in the left support while the bar B into the right support. So this type of provision is called as the alternate bar bending. And in the other direction, we will provide the distribution steel. This distribution steel will take care of the temperature and shrinkage stresses, and it will keep the main reinforcement in position and properly distribute the loads evenly into the slab. So now I will show you how to prepare a generalized Excel sheet for the design of simply supported one-way slabs. So let's say we want to design a slab for a room having clear dimensions of 7 meter by 3 meter and having the thickness of support as 300 mm, and we want to design the slab of M20 grade concrete and Fe415 grade steel and having a clear cover of 25 mm. So the first step is we will calculate the design factors. So first factor is the neutral axis factor, which is XU max by D. So the formula for XU max by D is equal to 700 divided by 1100 plus 0.87 Fy. So here Fy is here 415 Newton per mm square. So putting all these values, we get the XU max by D as 0.48. Next is the moment of resistance factor, which is Q limit, which is given by 0.36 into XU max by D into 1 minus 0.42 into XU max by D into FCK. So you get Q limit as 2.76. Next is the PT limit, which is given by 0.36 by 0.87 into FCK by Fy into XU max by D into 100. So you get the PT limit as 0.96%. The next step is we will calculate the effective length. So effective length in the shorter direction, that is Lx, which is given by the effective clear span in the shorter direction, which is 3 meters plus the width of the support, which is 0.3 meter. So you get as 3.3 meter. Similarly, the effective length in the longer direction, which is 7 plus 0.3, which is equal to 7.3 meters. Now we will check the aspect ratio, which is the ratio of Ly by Lx. So it is equal to 7.3 by 3.3. So we get as 2.21 meter. So as this ratio is more than or equal to 2, we will design as a one-way slab. So now we will assume the PT, the value of percentage of tension reinforcement, as 0.35%. So if we assume PT as 0.35, we can get the modification factor from figure 4 given on the page number 38 of IS 456-2000. So we get the modification factor from the graph as 1.5. Now once we get the modification factor, we will calculate the effective depth required to satisfy the deflection criteria. So for a simply supported beam, the effective depth required is Lx, which is the effective shorter span, divided by 20 into modification factor. So modification factor we have just calculated, that is 1.5 from the graph. So you get the effective depth required as Lx. So here Lx value is here 3.3, and converting it to mm, so we have multiplied it by 1000 divided by 20 into modification factor. So modification factor is 1.5. So you get the effective depth required as 110 mm. So now we will assume the effective depth and calculate the overall depth of the slab. So overall depth of the slab is the effective depth plus clear cover, which is 25 mm, and plus diameter of bar by 2. So here we have assumed 10 mm bars. So you get the overall depth of the slab as 140 mm. Now we will calculate the total factored load. So first of all, the self weight of the slab, which is equal to the overall depth of the slab, which is 140 mm, and multiplying it by unit weight of concrete, which is equal to 25. So we get the self weight as 3.5 kilonewton per meter square. We will assume the floor finish as 1.5 kilonewton per meter square. You can assume any value between 0.5 to 2, and we have assumed here the live load as 2 kilonewton per meter square. So for the residential building, as per IS 875 part 2, we can assume any value between 2 to 3 kilonewton per meter square for residential buildings. So here we have taken 2 kilonewton per meter square. So now we will calculate the total load, which is equal to self weight plus floor finish plus live load. So we get as 7 kilonewton per meter square, and we will get the factor load, which is equal to 7 multiplied by the factor of safety of 1.5, which is 10.5 kilonewton per meter square. Now in the case of one-way slabs, we provide the main reinforcement parallel to the shorter span. So first of all, we will calculate the effective shorter span. So for that, the center to center distance between supports for the shorter span, which is equal to the clear shorter span is 3 meters plus thickness of the support is 0.3 meters, so it is 3.3 meters, and the clear span plus d. So the clear span is 3, and effective depth, which is 110 mm, so we will convert it into meters, so dividing it by 1000. So we get the clear span plus d value as 3.11 meters. So the effective shorter span will be minimum of center to center distance between supports and clear span plus d, so which comes out to be 3.11 meters. Now we will calculate the maximum bending moment and shear force, which is equal to W into Lx effective square by 8 and W into Lx effective by 2. Please note here that the maximum bending moment and shear force will be calculated by taking into account the effective shorter span, because we are providing the main reinforcement parallel to the shorter span. So we get the maximum bending moment and shear force as 12.69 and 16.33 kN respectively. Now we will calculate the depth of the slab required. So the depth of the slab required is equal to square root of mu divided by q limit into b. So we get as 67.88 mm. So as we have provided 110 mm, which is more than the required depth of the slab, so it is okay. And we have provided the overall depth of 140 mm. So now we will calculate the area of the main reinforcement. So it is similar to what we have done in the beams. So AST is given by 0.5 FCK into BD by Fy into 1 minus square root of 1 minus 4.6 mu upon FCK BD square. So you get the AST required as 341.84 mm square. So now we will calculate the spacing required for 10 mm bars. So the spacing required is given by area of 1 bar, which is equal to pi by 4 into diameter of bar square divided by AST required and multiplying it by 1000 to calculate the spacing required for 1 meter width of the slab. So here pi by 4. So pi is your 3.14 by 4. So we have multiplied it by 0.25 multiplied by the diameter of bar square, which is 10 mm whole square, and multiplying it by 1000 and dividing it by the area of steel required. So we get the spacing required as 229.75 mm center to center. Now this spacing should not exceed 3D, which is equal to 3 into 110, which is equal to 330 mm, and it should also not exceed 300 mm center to center. So we will use minimum of all the above three values, that is minimum of 229.75, 330 and 300. So we get the spacing required as 229.75 mm. So we have round down this value to 220 mm center to center. Now we'll calculate the area of steel provided for this spacing. So the area of steel provided is equal to pi by 4 into dia square divided by spacing provided into 1000. So this formula is similar to what we have used for the spacing required. So we get area of steel provided as 357 mm square. So from that we will calculate the percentage of reinforcement provided, which is equal to area of steel provided divided by B. So here B will be 1000 mm. For slabs we will design the reinforcement for 1 meter width of the slab. So 1 meter is nothing but 1000 mm, and multiplying it by the D, which is equal to effective depth we have taken as 110 mm. So we get the percentage of reinforcement as 0.32%. Now we will calculate the minimum reinforcement which is required. So minimum reinforcement for HYSD bars is 0.12% of gross cross-sectional dimensions. So 0.12% of B into D. So here B is 1000 mm, D, which is the effective depth, is equal to 110 mm. So we get the minimum reinforcement as 168 mm square. So as we have provided 357 mm square, is more than the minimum reinforcement value, so it is okay. In case if it exceeds the minimum reinforcement value, then we will provide AST minimum as AST provided. Now we will calculate the area of distribution steel in the similar way. So here we have taken 8 mm dia bars and we have provided the spacing of 290 mm center to center. But here the spacing required should not exceed 5D and 450 mm. Whereas in the case of main reinforcement, the spacing should not exceed 3D and 300 mm center to center. So area of distribution steel is 173.33 mm square. Now we will check the shear. So for shear, first of all we will calculate the percentage of reinforcement provided at the supports. So as we have provided alternate bent up bars, so whatever the reinforcement we have provided as a mains reinforcement, that is 0.32%, will provide 50% as the bent up bars. So we will provide 50% of 0.32, that is 0.16% will be provided at the support. Now for this percentage of reinforcement, we will calculate the tau c value, which is given by 0.85 into square root of 0.8 FCK into square root of 1 plus 5 beta minus 1 divided by 6 beta, where this beta value is given by 0.8 FCK by 6.89 PT. So we get the tau c value as 0.30 Newton per mm square. Now in the case of slabs, the tau v value, which is the applied shear force, should not exceed the actual tau c value. Now in order to calculate the actual tau c value, the formula for that is equal to K into the theoretical tau c value. So we calculated the theoretical tau c value as 0.30 Newton per mm square. Now we need to find the factor K. So for that, this table is given in the IS 456 on page number 84. So here the overall depth of the slab that we have taken is 140 mm, which is less than or equal to 150 mm. So we will take the K value as 1.3. We will find the actual tau c value, which is equal to the K into the theoretical tau c value, which is equal to 0.30. So we get the actual tau c as 0.39 Newton per mm square, and we will calculate the tau v, which is the applied shear stress, which is equal to Vu, which is 16.33 kilonewton divided by B into D. So here B will be the 1000 mm, that is 1 meter width of the slab, and D is here effective depth of 110 mm. So we get the tau E value as 0.15 Newton per mm square. So here the tau C value is more than the tau E value, so our slab is safe in shear. So if in case the slab fails in shear, then we will increase the depth of the slab to avoid the design of shear reinforcement. So here we have provided the main steel of 10 mm dia at 220 mm center to center, which is alternately bent, and we have provided the distribution steel of 8 mm dia at 290 mm center to center, and we have bent the bars at a distance of L by 10 from the face of the supporter, that is 3300 by 10 from the face of the supporter, that is 330 mm, and we have provided the effective depth of 110 mm and the overall depth of 140 mm. So this completes the design of simply supported one-way slabs. In the upcoming videos, we will discuss on the design of continuous one-way slabs, two-way slabs, isolated footings, sloped footings, combined footings, staircase, etc. in Excel sheets. So if you liked my channel, then please subscribe it so that you don't miss any future updates. Thank you.